The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard.
Hello and welcome to Martinsville Speedway for round 4 of the 2016 iROC HPP Simulation Truck Series live on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi, I'm Samuel Ryman and alongside me is Tanner Sharp. Behind the scenes we have our director Joe Peak doing all the button pushing and our camera sets are provided by Dougie Beard. Also behind the scenes we got Steve Brown helping us out, keeping an eye on all the action down trackside. 3 drivers have locked themselves into the pursuit for the championship at the end of the season with wins in the first 3 races. Can we get 4 drivers to win in the first 4 races? Well, we're about to find out, Tanner, but they might have to use that chrome horn to make it happen.
Oh yes, definitely. Martinsville Speedway, one of my favorite short tracks on the iRacing software. It is a half-mile little paperclip short track, as people like to call this track a paperclip. 125 laps tonight in an iRacing fixed setup, so you cannot adjust anything on the car whatsoever. 60% of fuel, and I do not believe we're going to have a fuel mileage race at all. I think tires is going to be the key. Weather, 88 degrees and on track temperature, so it's kind of cool today. So I expect these guys to get a lot of grip, and the tire fall-up shouldn't be that bad here, Sam.
Absolutely, and to give you an idea of just how quickly things happen around this little paperclip racetrack, let's give you a trackside view of the circuit with our GSRC lap guide.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. My name is Brian Yazek and I'll be taking you for a spin around Martinsville Speedway in the GSRC Silverado. Martinsville is all about corner middle to corner exit. If you can master those 2 things, you will find yourself in victory lane today. So setting up the entrance into the corner is important, as you see here, trying to find that curbing on the inside of the track. But don't get too low because then the car will actually jump out on you. Back down into turn 3 once again, find the yellow, back into the gas. Now your braking point here is probably a little bit later than you would be in the Cup car just because of the lack of power, but too far down and that's what happens to you right there. You get a little squirrely on entrance and it basically kills your whole run off of the back straightaway. So back down into turn 3, float it through the middle on the brakes, still back into the gas really hard, let that truck surge out of the corner, back down into turn 1 one more time, float it through the middle, on the brakes, very lightly, back into the gas, extremely quickly. Coming back down into turn 3, you're going to, once again, find the bottom, and Martinsville is a very rhythm-based track, so what'll happen is you find yourself in a nice little rhythm, you can kind of float the truck in the way you like it, but the right rear tire is going to be your best friend. If you abuse it too much early on in the run, it will make you pay later in the run because coming off the corners you're going to be sideways the entire way off of the corner. Martinsville puts on a great show. It's a fun little paperclip track, and the winner today will be the one that does not have any scratches, or at least the least amount of scratches on their vehicle. My name is Brian Yazek and this is Martinsville Speedway.
So that's the racetrack, and now you see it from our aerial view as qualifying has begun. And now let's talk about the drivers who are going to be racing on the racetrack. They're currently all doing 2 qualifying laps around the Martinsville Speedway, which will determine how they grid up. And the points leader who's qualifying right now is Jordan Eriksson, and he is one of the 3 drivers who has taken the win this season, as are Aaron Kleinhans and Gary Whitson. they have all locked themselves into the pursuit. All these other drivers in the top 12 in points, 12 drivers will get into the pursuit at the end of the championship. They still need to try and get a win to lock them in. If you're in the top 20 in points, you automatically qualify into each race. If you're outside the top 20 in points, you have to race your way in. And one of the drivers sitting outside the top 20 in points right now is a name that we're usually familiar with, Michael Krobach, and he is not here tonight because he is speaking about NASCAR Geography Conference in California. He's going to be tied up for several Wednesday nights, so that means if he wants to make the pursuit at the end of the season, he's likely going to be a go or go home driver, Steve. He's going to have to try and come back here one day and get a win.
Yeah, definitely. That's very unfortunate that he ain't able to race tonight here, but I'm sure he's doing a great job with what he is doing, and I do look forward to seeing Michael Krobach on the racetrack in the future and win some races.
And of course, by Steve, I mean Tanner Sharp. They're getting the names mixed up there. A lot of people here in the broadcast booth trying to make this all happen. Here you see some drivers finishing up their qualifying runs right now. The fastest driver in qualifying has been Nick Cohan in the number 21 machine. We've had several drivers announce that they're not going to turn the qualifying time because I suppose they're either being given an EOL penalty or they just prefer to start from the back of the field. But there you see Cohan currently fastest and Jordan Erickson second. Right now we're watching the number 94 machine.
Yeah, I'm looking at the top qualifiers here. Nick Cohan's got the top spot. Jordan Erickson in second place in the 88. He's been he was the fastest car in practice. He's currently qualified second. Jamie Moore's third, Jeffrey Belt fourth, and Brody Hayes. They're all fast guys, and so far they've all qualified in the top 5.
Yeah, very odd. We're pretty much well over halfway into the qualifying session, and only 26 of the 40 trucks here tonight have turned a lap. One of the drivers, notably, who has not turned a lap is Curtis Aho in the number 38 machine. That's actually him we see on screen right there, because he was 5th fastest in practice. So we'll probably see him tonight if he's able to get up towards the front.
Yeah, definitely. I'm seeing a bunch, like you said, a bunch of guys didn't qualify. Preferably, I don't know if there's any safe place around this racetrack. I mean, you can get involved in anything here at Martinsville. It's such a short little racetrack, and you got about 40 trucks here tonight. So, I mean, half-mile paperclip, that's a lot of beating and banging out there. But you got Tim Knott, Milt Matisse, Jackie Palmore, Edward Bray, Lee Staples, all of them guys. Chris Ginn's another one who ran in the top 10 last week. He hasn't posted a qualifying time, so hopefully if these guys do not qualify, they could probably make up some ground during the race.
And another driver we don't see in the field tonight is Ty Hester. He has just had his second child earlier this week, so congratulations to Ty and the rest of the Hester family. And we look forward to seeing you back on the track soon, but understand why you can't be here tonight. Anyhow, it looks like we're not going to get any more drivers turn the qualifying time. So, our grid will be Nick Cohan by 4 thousandths of a second over Jordan, 3 thousandths of a second according to our computer there, over Jordan Erickson. And we hope you're enjoying our new graphics as much as I am. Look at this, Jamie Moore, Jeffrey Belt, Brody Hayes, Gary Whitson, Jason Matzel, JJ Day, Sam Maxwell and Jonathan Holstein. See the whole first 5 rows there.
Outside the top 10, you got Brian Yazik, Alex Baton sitting in 12th place, Aaron Kleinhans in 13th, Alan Young in 14th, Jordan Harnish starts 15th, Bryce Whitson Jr. will start in the 16th position, Travis McQuinston will start 17th, Mark Myers will start 18th, Dallas Faroux, I apologize if I have your last name incorrect. It must be a newcomer here in this league, and Cody Spincher will round out the top 20 there, Sam.
Yeah, then we get back into the second half of the field. We have Tom Freitas ahead of Robert Barney, Robert Barney usually prefers to start from the back of the field. Well, he is at the back of the qualifiers here, but unfortunately that puts him right in the slam bam middle of the field. Yeah, behind them are Alec Marshall and Travis Brown. Jeffrey Gilliam and Michael Koenig and Daniel Vining were the last 3 drivers who actually put on the time. Travis Lockoff, Milt Matisse and Chris Jim round out the top 30. Those 3 did not set their qualifying time.
And I will round out the field here. Outside the top 30, you have Austin Missler, Stephen Witten in 32nd, Curtis Aho will qualify 33rd, Lee Staples in 34th, Jackie Palmore in 35th, Edward Bray in 36th, Norm Pelletier in 37th, Michael Akins Jr. will qualify 38th, Todd Kirkwood 39th, and Tin Knott rounds out this 40-car field. Those guys have not posted a qualifying time, so they are in the back.
Now you see the Ford Mustang pace car rolling off, and they're turning around this racetrack now. There is one driver, Lee Staples, I believe, is electing to start from the pits. This is going to be a 125 lap race, as Tanner mentioned earlier. The track temperature is quite cold today, so there should be a lot of grip out there. That being said, it's not as much a track you have to race here, Tanner, as it is each other. We are going to see a lot of fender bending out there tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't care who you are. You're going to be fender bending one way or another. Let's take an example here. Robert Barney qualified 22nd. He's going to have to be prepared to rub some fenders and train some paint with somebody tonight because it's Martinsville. That's just the classic racing style at this racetrack.
So the field does 2 pace laps on iRacing around tracks that are shorter than a mile in length. This is just a half mile, and they are on their second pace lap. Watch your Ford Mustang pace car. Make a hard left turn down pit road as they're going to turn 3. Nick Cohan has control of the field, but will most likely wait until they are on the front stretch, which they are coming to now. And Cohan has control of the field. The green flag is in the air, and we are underway for 125 laps here at Martinsville Speedway.
Ooh, wow, pretty big jump for Nick Cohan, and that allowed the 88 of Jordan Erickson to get to the inside as quickly as possible. That's where you want to be at this racetrack, is on the inside of the racetrack at all times. It's the fastest way around the track. You don't want to get caught up in outside lane. It could work on fresh tires, especially with the way the track temperature is today, nice and cool. So, although I prefer the inside row. Oh, we got a spin in turn 1. Nope.
Yep. Dallas Fu is going through the ground patch. JJ Day, who's in the wall on the exit of turn 2 right there. I think it was JJ Day who actually kind of got turned half around, and he takes a tow to the pits and retires from the race on the spot. We'll see, it's Ricky Hardin in the 15. You see, it could have been a bit of netcode because he was blinking there.
Yeah, he was definitely blinking on my end. It could have been netcode, the number 73 truck. He went inside the 85 of Aaron Kleinhans, I believe. But, yeah, that could have been a little internet connection issue, netcode, however you want to call it. But, yeah, that's very unfortunate right there.
And that would explain why he was so quick to retire after the incident. If he'd known he had netcode issues and got caught in an incident, he figured, hey, best just make us one and done, not ruin anyone else's night. So thank you, JJ Day, for retiring, but unfortunate to see your issues. Maybe I'll get them cleared up and come back here and race a few laps down. No free repairs in this series, so if you do get involved in an incident, you've got to hope that there's not a lot of damage. Pit road is open, none of the leaders are coming in, so we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back very shortly for the restart here, because these cautions go by in a hurry at the half-mile Martinsville Speedway. Hello, welcome back to Martinsville. The lights were off on the pace car. They've just came back on. Not entirely sure why. It could have been something to do with Jordan Harnish. It seems he has retired from the race under this caution.
Yeah, definitely, as we should get the one to go signal right here, get everybody all filed up. I'm seeing about 3 cars on the back stretch, trying to catch up to the field here. Or actually a car, or 2. But anywho, yeah, Sam, we're going to be going back green here. Looks like they're not waving off the green here, so looks like we're going back green coming off turn 2 with the pace car here. Sam, it's all you.
Yeah, several trucks trapped 1 lap down after either being involved in an early incident or some trucks actually lost a lap under the caution when they came down pit road and were on pit road for a little bit too long. Nick Cohan once again has control of the field. He will lead Jordan Erickson back to the green flag here, and it's in the air. Jeffrey Belt has worked his way up to 3rd. He passed for that position under the last round.
I tell you what, I don't know if it was me or not, but Jeffrey Belt goes around in turn 2. Caution's out.
No, it's not.
No caution. Maybe not. I thought caution would be out for that, but maybe not. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Jeffrey Belt, no caution. I'm surprised the caution didn't come out. Holy cow. That's going to cost a ton of positions for him.
Well, Jeffrey Bell, I agree with you, Tanner, that the inside line is way around here, but he's made 1 pass on the outside. As soon as he gets downstairs, he spins out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know if he caught the apron, because you got to be careful when you catch that apron towards the grass there. That can get you a little loose and send you right around.
Meanwhile, we're watching Nick Cohan leading Jordan Harnish at the front here. Now, Cohan is one of many drivers, all but 3 drivers in the field, who doesn't have a win so far this season, whereas Jordan Erickson already has one, so Cohan's going to be racing hard to make sure he keeps Erickson behind him.
Tell you what, man, that was a close call for Jeffrey Belt. I mean, he's sitting back here now in the 33rd position, way in the deep pack, and now he's begging on cautions, hoping for actually a long green flag run here. So he could probably, well, not long green flag run, probably more like caution now.
Not going to happen. Brian Jarzik spun up in the wall, no damage, but it comes to a stop, and that will bring out our 2nd yellow of the day.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we don't really need a long green flag run because Belt needs a little damage repair on that right rear, too.
Did he slide up into someone, or did he lose it on his own? We'll find out when they get down to the end of the straight. He was certainly, yeah, he got a little bit of help from behind there.
That's just this typical track, man. I'm telling you. I mean, you expect the trading the paint happen here. I mean, or someone getting spun from somebody. Some guys may actually overdrive the corner or clip somebody. I mean, anything can happen at Martinsville, and you really can't point the finger because there's not a lot of room to work with at this kind of a racetrack.
Yeah, that was Jason Matzel, who was in the number 27 machine that got into the back of him. The first driver we have coming down pit road under this yellow is the number 37 machine. That's Brody Hayes in there. Actually, you see Matzel might need to come in to get a bit of work on that front end.
Yeah, definitely. According to what I'm seeing here, you got about 24 cars still have not pitted yet. So, or 25 cars, excuse me. So that's about 14 laps on them tires, and technically we've had 2 cautions in the first 14 laps. So they haven't had a lot of laps on these tires, especially on a cool racing surface. I'm not expecting these guys to pit unless we have a long green flag run, unless someone's feeling weird in their truck or something weird like that. But although I'm not really going to expect anybody coming down pit road anytime soon.
Well, all of our top 7 runners started in the top 10, which isn't too surprising considering the fact we haven't had a lot of drivers pit yet, and also not a lot of green flag racing where they've been able to pass each other. But sitting in 8th, 9th and 10th positions, we have Aaron Kleinhans, who started 13th, but Travis McQuistron has worked his way all the way up into 9th place after starting in 17th.
Yeah, looking through the field here, a couple guys actually coming up through the field making them some noise. They weren't very good in practice times on the speed charts and the qualifying charts. The guys I'm looking at here is you got Alec Marshall, Travis Brown, and Tom Freitas. They all started outside the top 20 there, Sam, and they're already top 15.
Yeah, now we believe Lee Staples got the lucky dog. Now, Lee, I think he was one of the drivers. I think he was a driver who started from pit road. That may have cost him a lap or two. I'll have to go back and check on that one. But anyhow, the pace car lights are off, and Cohan once again is about to have control of the field over Jordan Ericsson in second place, as it has been every time they've came to the green flag so far this race. Hopefully we'll get a long green flag around here, although it is Martinsville, so never count on it. They're about to complete lap 17 of 125. The green flag is back out, and Cohan leads them away.
Oh wow, what a start by a bunch of these guys here. And this time, the 88 truck, Jordan Ericsson's not going to get to the inside this time because that was filled up by Gary Whitson, but the guy that really got a nice jump was number 27, Jason Manziel, back there in the 5th position.
Yeah, hearing a lot of Jason Manziel right now. And honestly, Tanner, I think we're going to see a few surprises this race, because it's not necessarily pace that always gets you to the front at Martinsville, but how aggressive you're willing to race your competitors and training more, and Jason Manziel actually bounced off fenders there.
That's traditional Martinsville racing right there. This is why I love Martinsville. Close racing like that, a little trade and paint, that's just classic racing.
Yeah, if you don't like anyone's paint scheme, just wait a couple minutes and it will change.
Yeah, I just seen the leader blink for a second there. But to answer your question, Sam, is, well, it all depends. If you're this early in the race and you're up front, sure, you want to try to be just a little aggressive to try to stay up front. And like Jordan Ericsson, looks like he's kind of managing his tires, gaining on the 21 truck a little bit there of Nick Cohan. But if you're in the back, just pace yourself. You got a long race ahead of you. I do expect the front runners to pit sometime towards this race for some kind of tires. So, yeah, it just depends where you are on the racetrack, and just go out there, have some fun, beat and bang just a little bit, but don't wreck.
Yeah, well, another thing we've got to consider is that there is a time limit on this race, 85 minutes long, so we'll be keeping an eye on that, because if there were enough cautions, theoretically this race could be timed short enough where the winner might get away with never having to pit. I believe Tommy Ryan won the race here that way once.
Yeah, I mean, if we're on a time limit, then oh boy, let's continue to go green here, folks. Let's not have all these cautions to where, you know, we're going to lose some of that time. So yeah, let's just stay green. And right now they're staying green.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan was in the truck race we were competing here a couple of seasons ago. He's raced against many of these drivers, so I'm sure they're familiar with it and familiar with that strategy. Right now, though, a lot of single file racing going on throughout the field towards back.
Yeah, they're way in the back of the pack. They are battling way in the back of the pack, but not really anybody battling pretty much throughout the whole field. They're all single file, running their race, taking it easy. That's the way to do it. Try to finish up front here in Martinsville or win the race.
Jackie Pelmore getting a little bit of a wall in the number 7 team. Doesn't look like it's affected his truck too much, though. Of course, the nice thing here, Tanner, is aerodynamics don't really matter a whole lot, so you can bang your truck up a little bit and not be too worried, but I think these drivers might be pushing it a little bit too much.
Oh man, there's a lot of contact back here between the number 37, Brody Hayes, Jeffrey Bell, Austin Missler. Jeffrey Bell kind of got in the back of Hayes because Hayes had to check up for the car in front of him, and they all kind of like hit each other in the back corner, but nobody wrecked. They're all still running great.
Meanwhile, there's a battle for the lead perhaps shaping up in a not too distant future. Jordan Ericsson has ate up the gap between himself and Cohan. Remember, Cohan kind of had the jump on the rest of the field at the restart. He got a nice restart, and as he mentioned, Tanner, he is blinking a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. You honestly don't want any kind of connection issues here at Martinsville, or anywhere really, because what if you're racing with somebody? You know, a lot of netcode could be come involved at any track, really. So you really don't want to start blinking. But yeah, they're racing, and I'm gonna see who was the fastest car last time by. That was Nick Cohan, the fastest car on the racetrack. That last time by. We'll have to see this time by.
Yeah, well, I don't think Ericsson's going to be able to go a whole lot faster than him in the not-too-distant future because he's not going to be able to get by him.
They actually ran pretty even lap times. The car that actually is still going by, everybody's trying to get around the racetrack as the leaders are almost catching the back of the field already. You get 40 trucks on Martinsville, and the leader catches the back of the field. There's gonna be cars all over the place.
Let's go to the battle between Cody Spicher and Daniel Vining for 20th position right now, because this is a demonstration of how trouble brews at Martinsville. They were just running side by side, and they had two drivers running side by side behind them.
Ooh.
And as a result...
Almost contact between 61 and Jeffrey Gilliam and 99, Daniel Vining. That was a close call there. Sorry to interrupt you, Sam.
Yeah, no, that's the battle we're watching. To the point, what I'm saying, these drivers are racing so hard that in front of them they can see how far ahead Milt Matisse is.
99 going around. Here we go. Cautions go.
The yellow flag is out.
And
Daniel Vining, he got clipped. I was watching that battle, and we were two on air.
Yeah, and that's all because they were all racing so hard, and there was such a gap ahead of that little pack. They were all getting a little frustrated with each other, I feel, and it could have been a racing incident, but I wouldn't be surprised if perhaps this was a bit of an over-aggressive move. Yeah, is that Jarzik who was trying to make a move, and Vining was trying to come down, and their two lines intersected.
Yeah, definitely. He got clipped entering that corner, and then he was trying to save the truck, and it tried to save as best he could, and maybe the tires were a part of that too. But, nowhere to go for these guys. That's very unfortunate for Danny Vining. Hopefully he can get down pit road to repair some of that damage and get back on the racetrack. But like you said, Sam, aerodynamics don't really mean much unless you totally wreck your truck.
Yeah, and don't say that's not possible. These drivers are carrying a lot of speeds into the turns, but as you mentioned, the entire field is coming down pit road because they now have 30 laps on all those tyres if they haven't pit yet. And there you get another idea of what happened there. Robert Barney likes qualifying towards the back, but there's a problem that it brings at Martinsville. So back to live action. Nick Cohan has brought the field down into the pits. He has that first pit stall and should be able to roll out first unless anyone decides to take two tyres.
Yeah, I don't be surprised if they do take two tires. It's definitely a good test off right now, but that was the longest green flag run that we've had, so I would kind of look for guys taking four tires, honestly, but you might see some guys with two.
A lot of drivers who were involved in earlier incidents stayed out to try and get a lap back, and I have a feeling pretty much everyone on the lead lap did come into the pits.
Yeah, I believe so. I've seen the 89 car stay out. I think he's just picking up a bonus point. Let's see if he pits right here. That was Travis Fertius. He's down pit road, so yeah, I think Tom Freitas. Excuse me if I got your name wrong. But yeah, he came down pit road. He stayed out to get a bonus point, I believe, and came down pit road.
Not a bad idea. Anyhow, there's a bit of sorting out to go because all the lap down trucks who didn't come into the pits that time are going to take a wave around. We'll be back for the restart and give you a rundown of the order before we go back to green. Alright, about to get the green here, but the rundown is pretty much what it was before the caution. It looks like pretty much everyone took four tyres. Cohan about to lead Ericsson back to the green flag. It's lap 38. Here they go.
Nice. Nick Cohan there. That's what the leader gets. That pretty much gives the advantage to the leader. Side by side for second between Ericsson and Whitson. Ericsson may have gotten the wall a little bit. Maybe not.
Gary Whitson has just been lurking there all day.
Yeah, he's hanging on the bottom there, and Ericsson, he might clear him right here. I believe he will get down to the bottom if he can. Yep, he will.
And behind them, the battle is Aaron Cleanhands on the outside and Sam Maxwell on the inside. He's been in the top 10 all race long.
Yeah, definitely. He started in the 9th position. He's up to the 5th right now. Up to 6th. Guys outside the top 10 are moving up to the top 10.
Cohan, meanwhile, has put a gap on the rest of them, but then, as we mentioned, it's Jordan Eriksson leading Gary Whitson and Jason Matzel in 4th place, gets in the wall a little bit. Matzel has gotten into a couple of trucks this race and the wall a couple of times, but his truck is still riding strong, has a nice run going in 4th place right now.
Yeah, definitely. Nice strong run for Sam Maxwell. Sure, you're a little beaten up on the fenders a little bit, but if it ain't affecting your truck, don't worry about it. Driver I see here that's run pretty solid tonight here as well in Martinsville is the number 94 car or truck, Stephen Witten. Started 32nd, up to 13th already, just under 50 laps. Oh, number 20 goes for a spin. That's Jimmy Moore.
He saves it, but there's
no caution. Stack up, huge stack up.
Yep.
Oh man, that was. Wow,
that might have.
Oh, 14 upside down. Oh,
Alec Marshall.
Alec Marshall, barrel rolling down the front stretch. As this will definitely bring out a caution.
Yeah, well, and we'll catch that on the replay. And was that Alec Marshall? Alec Marshall, there he is on the inside there, the 14 machine. This all happens about half a lap later, but it happened because of that incident coming out of 2. It got them all stacked up, as you mentioned, Hannah, and then he gets turned coming out of turn 4 and flips 3 times, 4 times.
Man.
Oh, 5. 5 down the
Five.
straight.
Yeah, man, that might be a world record out.
Our director doesn't think we're dizzy enough, so he's going to play an onboard here. Boy, that truck, 2 trucks up, is blinking a fair amount, and he kind of gets tagged by the truck behind him coming out of turn 4 here. Fortunately, I don't think he got too much damage there, Tanner. So the field continues to work its way under caution. Meanwhile, an update. Bryce Whitson has actually lost his internet connection. So that's a retirement for a driver who was sitting quite high up in the points there. Or he usually is. Actually, he hasn't been having the best of starts to the season. But the top 2 has pretty much remained the same since the start of this then. So, none of the leaders are coming into the pits right now. We'll see if the pace car lights stay on. There you see a top 10 rundown. And the pace car lights are going to stay on for another lap. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment on the GSRC.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Alright, and we're back here. Samuel Ryman and Tanner Sharp are with you getting ready for the restart here.
Yeah, definitely. I believe I am back here on the GSRC here at Martinsville Speedway. Pace cars in, Nick Cohan, Jordan Eggerson, green flag, not yet. Here we go. Nick Cohan, nice jump by Nick Cohan. Erickson's going to try to get down low. Gary Whitson's not going to allow it. He squeezes it in there. Oh man, they're under attacking the number 27 at Jason Manziel too there, Sam.
Boy, Jordan Erickson did a really good job to hold onto that position, but he had a lot of wheel spin. Excellent in the second turn. Gabby Whitson, as you mentioned, third.
Yeah, definitely. That was. I didn't know if they were going to make contact or not, but that's some really close racing. But that's just old-fashioned Martinsville racing, I guess. I see the first battle is between the 73 and the 93. That's Travis McQuinston, Jonathan Holstein.
Yeah, and as we watch this battle, amazing to mention, we saw Alec Marshall flipping over and over. Not only is he still in the race, he's actually still on the lead lap, running back in 26th place right now.
Yeah, definitely a lot of activity going on in turn number 1 there, Sam. I'm not quite sure. Oh.
Yes, Cody's speech just got a little bit of contact.
Yeah, so far no harm, no foul, but there's a car hitting the barrels at the entrance of turn number 3, trying to make out who that was.
It looked like a yellow truck. Trying to work out if that was Michael Atkins.
I believe it's Palmore. It was Jackie Palmore that actually spun, headed down into turn 3, got on the brakes maybe a little too hard, slid and hit the front barrels and just totally smashed right into it. So he just took a tow and went down pit road. There was no caution for it as we stay green.
Yep, and you see the smoke coming out of the engine. That's pretty much game over for him, unfortunately. Whenever you take a tow to the pit road at Martinsville, I mean, a lap goes by in 20 seconds. Even a 1 minute tow with 2 minutes optional repairs is going to put you about 20 laps down.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's oh man, that's heartbreaking right there, especially at Martinsville. Oh, I know the feeling though.
Meanwhile, we've been watching all this mess going on in the middle of the field. Cohan once again checking out on Ericsson, but it seems Ericsson's able to run him down in the long run.
Contact back here. This is a big mess, actually. Travis Brown, Jamie Moore, Jeffrey Belt, Milt Matisse. They're all back here beating and banging fenders here.
And these are all the same drivers who were racing quite hard when the last caution happened.
Looked like Jeffrey Bell kind of washed up the hill a little bit there on Jamie Moore. Excuse me, Travis Brown. So far, everybody's trying to get single file here. The best battle on the racetrack here, Sam, unless you're seeing something up towards the front, but I'm just watching these guys battle back here.
Yeah, it seems most of the leaders have got single file. This is really where most of the action is at. These drivers running around 15th place, all trying to work their way up towards the top 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Belt's got damage or that's the cause of him washing up the track. I see him down turn 3. He's not running a lower line like everybody else is. Unless he's getting harder into the turn than everybody else, I'm not quite sure. But Belt not protecting that inside line very good.
Yeah, I think Belt's got damage from a couple previous incidents, which I think though could be said for all of the competitors around him right now as the 89 slides up.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing with Jeffrey Belt earlier too. And Belt was, I don't know, he's kind of struggling here, but boy, you got a battle up ahead of him. That's the 42 car, Milt Matisse, and the number 97 Travis Brown going at it there.
Not the first time we've used those names and battle in the same sentence. Belt continuing to drop back. Meanwhile, the leaders, if we stay green, are going to have to deal with lap traffic very soon for the first time today.
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, you put 40 trucks on Martinsville, man. I mean, the leaders could probably catch up the back of the field if we stay green in about 10, 15 laps. I mean, it's certainly possible. So, and all these guys will be all over the racetrack.
Yeah, right now they're passing trucks who haven't had the best of days. Edward Bray being put a lap down there right now in 32nd. Daniel Vining with a bit of damage to his machine. Now, I believe Vining was out of the Grand National Series last week because he was involved in a car incident, unless I'm mistaken. So it's great to see him back here sim racing with us.
Yeah, if we do get a caution, Edward Bray would get the lucky dog, and he's actually the first car pretty much a lap down, except in this case, he's 3 laps down, and I believe Daniel Vining just went a lap down himself, so technically Daniel Vining would get the lucky dog if we get a caution.
But it's changing every second. Alec Marshall, the driver we saw flip about 5 or 6 times not too long ago, just goes a lap down, and well, the next truck up is several laps down. That's Brody Hayes. So yeah, the traffic isn't interfering with the leaders too much right now. But when they do begin to, if they do begin to catch up with the battles on the track, we'll see it be a much tougher time up front, and perhaps some lead changes and also some bent fenders will come into play.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm watching this little battle up ahead of the leaders of Nick Cohan here. You got Brody Hayes, there's a spin 4, 89 car. Oh, he's around and there's no caution yet. Oh, now there's a caution. Whoa!
Well, I think there's going to be a couple of drivers not too happy with Tom Freitas about that. Watching the replay, meanwhile Michael Atkins' engine has gave up a ghost. But yeah, Freitas gets spun, and I'm surprised there's no caution here.
Yeah, he got tapped from behind. Everybody's trying to get around him, and it looks like he started moving the truck in front of the traffic, and oh yeah, big damage. Oh, the leader's got a part of that, Sam. The leader got a part of that.
Yeah, that was Nick Cohan, and he's leading the field down pit road right now. He doesn't have too much damage.
I know he got on the radio about it.
Yeah, because they disabled these radio traps, I'm guessing you will say in not too pleasant things, and can't blame him too much. Let's see and hear how hard a whack Cohan took here.
I think it wasn't that hard, but...
Oh, that looked pretty hard. But he's not going to stay on pit road for repairs. He leads the race off of pit road.
They could without any kind of incident, so hopefully there isn't too much damage and he can continue leading this race and have a good battle with Jordan Erickson.
Yeah, those two have pretty much been top two the whole race long.
The leader right now trying to catch the pace car, but they got a lot of cars who pitted and a lot of cars who didn't pit. Some guys may take a wave around here, but everything's just trying to get sorted out here, Sam.
Yeah, Stephen Wetton has stopped on the entry of the pit road, and there were a couple close calls there. Some trucks almost running into him. Not sure what if Wetton is waiting for his place in line here right now.
Yeah, you know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards anybody, but you definitely don't want to be stopped at the entrance of pit road there. I mean, that's a small pit road. I mean, so there's very little room on pit road, and including the racetrack. I'm not quite sure what to make of it.
He's dropped back here. Meanwhile, Tom Freitas has retired from the event. That's the driver we saw pointing backwards and then came up into Cohan.
Actually, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there could be some malfunction hardware. Maybe his screen turned black or something. I'm not entirely sure. I have seen that happen before, but to where guys just stop until they get some kind of visual on their screens. But although I'm not quite sure.
Well, we're over the halfway point, and I think we should be able to get this race in 125 laps, providing it runs its full distance, because we're only 35 minutes into the event. So that's the good news. The other good news for Nick Cohan is nothing's changed up front all race. He's been leading Jordan Erickson all race long. The big question is how much is that damage going to affect him? Because as the pace car lights are off, even though aerodynamics doesn't mean a whole lot at Martinsville, Tanner, if it does mean something, it's when you're leading.
Yeah, definitely. If it does mean right now is going to be the test. If he gets a good launch off and if Erickson does not catch him, and then it's not going to play a factor. But if he does catch him, then his damage might be playing a factor. Here we go. Green flag race and the Martinsville Speedway.
Yep, here we go then.
Go ahead. By side for second place. Cohan's going to clear him. Maybe not. Run off for Jordan Erickson for the lead. First time all day.
Yeah, the damage on Kohan, it looks like it's definitely hurt his straight line speed, because not only is he going to lose the lead there, he might even lose second to Gary Whitson. He is having a hard time holding onto that truck with the damage.
Erickson now takes the lead as he pulls a pretty big gap on the second place. Not a big gap, but he pulls a pretty good one. As second place is being in battle with Gary Whitson on the bottom, Nick Kohan on the outside, and Kohan is now stuck for the first time all day on the high side.
Yeah, and Sam Maxwell got trapped behind him. He had nowhere to go. Probably didn't realise how off a pace Kohan would be and is trying to get downstairs. Look at who just passed him though. Brian Yazik making a comeback through the field after being involved in an earlier incident. And Kohan is probably going to drop back outside the top 5 very shortly.
Yeah, when you get on that top side, you just got to be patient and wait for a hole to open up. That's all you can do. He has the 89 truck, Sam Maxwell, all over his back bumper. Hopefully he doesn't get spun. So far, so good. If Kohan can get clear right here and get to the inside, maybe not. Nope, not gonna happen. Number 24, Alan Young, was there.
Meanwhile, in front of all of this, the top 3 leaders are Jordan Erickson, Gabby Whitson and Aaron Cleanhands. Do those names sound familiar? They should. They are the 3 drivers who already have a win this season.
Another driver does not have a win, but he's a familiar face, Brian Yazik. He's currently in the 4th position there, Sam.
Yeah, the first driver without a win, and he wants to get one to lock himself in to the pursuit at the end of the season.
Yes, definitely. Brian Yazik sitting in the 4th position. Right behind him is Alan Young. I don't think Alan Young has a win this season either. So guys that don't have wins are starting to make a little noise.
Yep, and meanwhile, Sam Maxwell has just made the pass for 6th on Kohan, who's now going to be under threat from Travis McQueestron, who has slowly been working his way up through the field during the race.
Kohan. Yazik is now looking for 3rd place there, Sam, on Aaron Kleinhands. Not side by side quite yet, but he's looking. Meanwhile, while that's going on, Nick Kohan is still stuck in that outside lane. He had a couple opportunities to try to get down there, but I think the damage on his truck is playing a little toll on him now.
Does seem to be the case. The Yazik battle, it isn't really one right now. He hasn't really closed back in on Cleanhands for another attack, as it's now Alex Bates looking underneath Kohan.
Yazik got a little loose. He was trying to get to him. He just got a little loose entering that corner. A lot of speed through that corner. Yazik just kind of wiggled just a little bit. So
and
far,
at the exact same time, Kohan did the same thing.
Yeah, these guys are starting to slip and slide just a little bit if they're driving really hard, but no battle for 3rd place yet. Yazik's still trying to get a good run off to get side by side with the number 85 of Aaron Kleinhans.
I think I've learned something here today, Tanner. If you want to win a race at Martinsville, you've got to be up front. It seems any driver beyond 5th or 6th position has been involved in some kind of fender banning at the very least.
Yeah, definitely. You want to be up front at Martinsville Speedway as much as you can. And if you're up front, you have to be patient. If you're not patient, you get overly aggressive, bad things can happen. So right now, Brian Yazik, he's just trying to be patient, see if he can get the good run off. Maybe the 85 ahead of him, Aaron Kleinhans, can wear out the tires just a little bit to where he can get that run off to get side by side. But I'm seeing a lot of patience going on between the leaders right now.
Kohan continues to pull back, but definitely not as fast as what it was. He's just fallen out of the top 10 to Mark Myers, but it's taken a couple of laps now for each truck to make the move stick.
You know, Kohan, he's been really patient and being really we got a little wiggle there in turn 4. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but wow, he wiggled up in turn 4 there as number 42 Milton Matisse is going to go under him. He's going to lose the 12th position.
Meanwhile, Travis Brown has retired from the race. Doesn't seem like he's too happy with Robert Barney. I think there's going to be a few drivers who are going to have to calm down after this event. But yeah, you're talking about Kohan wiggling. I think his truck is handling a lot worse than what we think it is right now.
Yeah, I think it is too, because he is not handling really good on exit whatsoever. He's just trying to, actually right now, if he can get underneath Jeff Bell, he can get below Yeah, he should be able to get on the inside right here. Have that number 16, Robert Barney, right behind him. We know Robert Barney is fast, but Nick Cohen's going to try to get to the inside here, just kind of ride out the race until we get a caution. Maybe he can repair just a little damage once we get that caution.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, we're finally getting that long green flag running. They always seem to come at the worst time, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Although not sure for how long. Oh, we got one on the speedway, and in fact, there's a second wreck going in between the leaders.
Oh, Aaron Kleinhans.
Yeah, Aaron Kleinhans is around. I'm not sure if that's what actually pulled out the caution, but about three drivers behind him, they were 3 wide. I'm guessing by the proximity, Aaron got spun by Yazik. Yeah, so that's what happened there. But then if we go back, watch at the bottom of the picture right there, they were 3 wide coming into the turn. They were about to have their own wreck if that hadn't happened. That was Alex Bates was one of the drivers. We'll watch a replay of exactly what happened here. Meanwhile, these drivers are all coming into the pits to get service, but they shouldn't change position too much because everyone's been taking 4 tyres. You see Bates gets a run on the 2 trucks ahead of him, they're wrecking in the turn, and then they almost have their own wreck there. So, leaders are in the pits. Some drivers stayed out though. It looks like Gary Whitson, Brian Yazik and Nick Cohan did not pit. And that's going to put a lot of drivers a lap down. Well, there you see our leaderboard. So that's going to be the way they'll restart. We'll be back in just a moment. Hello and welcome back to Martinsville Speedway, where it looks like the top 5 trucks did not pit under this caution. Gary Whitson, Brian Yazik, Jeffrey Gilliam, Jordan Eriksson, and that might be it actually. But meanwhile, Whitson is about to lead the field back to the green. It's lap 94. Green flag back in the air now. 3 wide for second. Here comes Jordan Eriksson down the inside.
Oh, 24, big wreck. Yep, big wreck. Alan Young's involved. I know that for sure. He got spun.
Well, Alan Young, I think, was one of the drivers who had stayed out, if not taken 2 tyres.
Oh, wow. What a calamity down turn 1. Yikes.
Could have been a lot worse. Have a feeling we kind of saw that coming when they were 3 wide heading into the first turn.
It's possible to do 3 wide at Martinsville, but if you're going to come out of it not getting contact with anybody, that's just absolutely amazing, because usually this track, it's hard to do 3 wide here.
Now, you see that could have been a lot worse than what it was. A couple nice recoveries there.
Definitely a bunch of nice recoveries, but I do assume a lot of these guys are going to have some kind of damage.
Interesting that we've seen the last couple of cautions take place with drivers sitting in the top 10 here, Tanner. It's really getting crunch time with 28 laps to go.
Yeah, with 28 laps to go here at Martinsville, it's down to crunch time. And it's Gary Whitson, Ryan Yazik, Jordan Erickson, Nick Cohan, who was back actually in the top 5 after losing several positions. Sam Maxwell rounding out the top 5.
Well, that's because Cohan didn't pit under the last caution, which really surprised me, because if there's one truck out there that definitely needs repairs to pick up a pace a little bit, it's Cohan's, but obviously he seems to be playing the track position route.
Yeah, I would too if I was him. Just do everything you can to stay up front at Martinsville.
Well, he's up front right now. If they keep getting quick cautions on the restart, he might be able to finish there, but we have seen a few long green flag runs today, so who knows, there could be another one in the books. Hope there is.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to see a long green flag run because I'm looking forward to green flag runs for a battle for the finish between Whitson and Yazik. I think those guys are going to be hard to beat, but Jordan Erickson, he's been up there all night long, so he might play with these two guys.
And he's on new tyres, which is critical. First of all, I think he restarted in something like 7th position, and he was able to get up to 3rd pretty quickly, although granted he was probably helped by the fact that there were a few trucks being spun around going into the first turn. And secondly, we've been told there's a half a second difference between old and new tyres here tonight.
Yeah, and it sounds like half a second difference is a lot, actually, at Martinsville. I mean, that's just the difference between old tires and fresh tires, and I believe we should get the one-to-go signal here. I do see the leaders all lined up and ready to go here, but we'll have to see what the pace car tells us.
Pace car tells us we are going back to green next time by. Lap 101 they will be completing. Don't have to worry about the time limit. We've got 24 laps left to go at the restart, and Whitson will lead Yazik back to the restart. Ericsson in 3rd place, Cohan in 4th place. The first 2 drivers on the inside have already won a race this season. The first 2 racers on the outside are looking for a W to lock themselves into the pursuit. They're coming through turns 3 and 4 right now. Gary Whitson will have control of the field once they come out of the corner, and he will try and get a jump over Yazik. Yazik will be looking to try and fill the hole as they go into the first turn, but he's not going to be able to do it. Ericsson is there.
Oh man, if Yazik can get on the inside, he does. Battle for 4th place, though, they did make a little contact. That was Nick Cohen, I believe.
Look at Ericsson using those new tyres to try and pass Whitson on the outside. It's not going to happen that easily, though.
Oh boy, here we go. Battle for the lead, Sam. Classic Martinsville racing right here as he does get to the inside. No contact whatsoever. That is a clean pass.
And that is what new tyres will do for you.
I don't care who you are. That is classic right there. Oh man, I'm pumped up already. I hope we stay green.
Oh, I don't think Ericsson would mind if it stays green or goes caution. I think he's got the fastest truck on the track right now, and now he's got that top spot.
Hearing sheet metal banging, but I'm not quite sure who it is, but Cohan's been rubbing the wall here, Sam. I've been hearing it for the last 2 laps at least.
I think it probably keeps his truck pointing in the right direction, otherwise he's all squiggly.
Yeah.
Oh, he's racing side by side with Jason Matzel, who's got his fair share of dins and dents on that truck.
Yeah, definitely. He's still stuck on the outside lane, just like how he was before. I guess staying out is not paying off for Nick Cohan. Under attack from Jason Matzel. Now Alan Young's going to try to get underneath him.
Meanwhile, we're keeping green flag. Cohan continues to fall back. That being said,
Nick Cohan, I believe he got on the wall. Yep.
That being said, as long as he keeps in the top 13, the decision to stay out will pay off for him. But if he keeps getting in the ball like that, he's not going to end up in the top 13.
Yeah, right now he's just hanging on, and he's pretty much saying, give me a hole, and there is no hole. You're going to be in the back of the pack by the time you get to that inside line. It looks like it's going to be a long time until he gets towards the inside there. He might... Uh-oh. Maxwell's actually pressuring Brian Yazik here, Sam.
Yeah, two drivers we haven't mentioned a whole lot today. Sam Maxwell up there in 4th place, Robert Barney up there in 5th place, not too far behind the rear bumper of Brian Yazik, right now running in 3rd. And all these drivers are thinking of bringing home a top 5 finish. They're probably also thinking, how do we beat Jordan Erickson if another caution comes out?
Fresh tires. If the caution comes out, leaders, get down pit road, take them 4 fresh tires. Even if Jordan Erickson does take 4 tires, get down pit road, take 4 tires, and try to battle him.
Well, there's not a whole lot of laps left to go now. 14 to be exact. Maybe 15, but yeah, 16 on screen. There we go. It actually says it on the screen right there. If I move my eyes away from the action that's going on the racetrack right now, and there's plenty of it throughout the field. Although, granted, the top 10 have gotten single file.
Yeah, but like we said before, Maxwell was pressuring Yazik, but I think Maxwell is being pressured from Barney right now. That would be for the top 5 spot, or 4 spot there, Sam.
Yeah, biggest battle going on the track right now is sitting around 16th to 20th position. Aaron Cleanhands, I think, is triggering a lot of it as he tries to rally his way back up through the field after being involved in an incident with Brian Yazik not too long ago.
A couple of shout-outs here. I got to give a shout-out to Robert Barney, started 22nd, currently 5th. And a guy that's running in the 10th position, Chris Ginn, started 30th. Truck's a little beaten up. He's currently 10th. Nice performance by these guys tonight.
Yeah, let's not forget that only the top 27 trucks actually set the qualifying time. We had a few... And there's a caution.
Trying to figure out what's causing the caution here.
Mark Myers and Cody Speecher, and they're actually going to lose a lap because of it. What do you do now for your tyres?
I'd say come down pit road, get 4 freshies. I mean, that's what you gotta do if you're gonna beat the 88. Hopefully pit road's open now, maybe not.
I can't imagine Ericsson coming into the pits though, because if he came into the pits, then no one else would, and he'd lose all that track position.
Yeah, I don't know. If the pit road opened and if you could convince the other guys to pit with you, then oh man, that would be they would be able to catch Ericsson. But if the pit road does open, which I believe it's going to this time by, everybody looks like they're headed towards the inside of the racetrack. So if they do pit, this is gonna be crazy. Oh yeah, pit road is open. You got some takers, but not everybody. You got one taker actually.
Mark Myers is the only driver coming into the pits there, and he was the driver involved in the latest incident, so it looks like our lead lap trucks are deciding to stay out and use track position, knowing that if a caution flag flies on the restart, mind you, that wouldn't end it.
Cohan's now down pit road here, Sam, but back up to the leaders since nobody pitted. Ah, man, that's going to be tough because I know the 88, that Jordan Erickson's got fresher tires than everybody else behind him.
Yeah, Cohan was running around 15th position when that caution flew. There's only 20 trucks on the lead lap. He was losing, he was off the pace compared to the rest anyway because of his damage. Give up 5 positions, get some repairs, and try and pick up a couple of spots at the end here.
All right, Sam, we're getting down to crunch time. 125 laps in this race. We are now currently on lap 117. What are you thinking, Sam? Well, I mean, what is your mindset as if you're Jordan Erickson?
Hit the gas pedal when you come out of turn 4. Let them wreck behind you. Have a caution flag and do it all again 5 laps later. Take the victory. I'm very pessimistic there.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see some wild restarts, and I think track position is the key, is the short version. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we do get a green flag round to end it, but like you say, we're coming down to crunch time, and at Martinsville, that's not a metaphor. It means some fenders are going to get crunched.
Okay, here we go. Well, these leaders do not want anybody to get spun around for a caution that's in the back. These guys want to try to finish in the green. Let's try to do it here at Martinsville. Pace cars on the backstretch, Sam. Up to you.
Brian Jarzik is sitting in the catbird seat. He's in third place. He's going to be able to see when Ericsson goes. He's going to have to try and get a restart, get in front of Gary Whitson and make a move on Ericsson in the first turn. I'm not sure he can do it, and he's not going to be able to do it. Ericsson was on the loud pedal early and leads the field into turn 1.
Oh, a lot of contact between number 27, Jason Matzel. These guys are beating and banging back here. Everybody's holding their own. Cohan's around. Nick Cohan in turn 1 and 2 is around.
Doesn't bring for the caution, though. He was able to save it.
Save it. Oh, Jason Matzel around. Caution will come out.
That's unfortunate for Matzel. He had been involved in a lot of hard racing throughout the race, but been able to keep it, and I don't think he's too happy with someone. Did he lose under zone, or did he get a bit of help? No, he got a lot of help.
He got a lot of help. There was a car coming to the inside, and I don't know. When it comes, you hate to see it when it comes down to the end of the race like this, but everybody's just trying to get the best position that they can. I see some contact under caution too, but that's just very unfortunate.
Can't really put the blame on any one driver there. He seemed to be a ping-pong ball all the way down the backstretch. Never really was able to regain control. I'm not going to say it was his fault at all, but
yeah. I totally agree with you, Sam. I mean, especially if you're trying to dodge a wreck, it's so hard to dodge wrecks here at Martinsville. I mean, where are you going to go? I mean, it's such little room to work with. You know, it's one of them tough deals, man. It's just Martinsville.
Yeah, Matzo have been running in the top 10 all race long. He now drops to 17th. And if we do get a caution under this final run, it would end it.
So, but here's the question. Are we gonna have another green flag run or one final run, or I'm not sure. I forgot if I don't think these guys do one lap shootouts, but and keep in mind, folks, iRacing does not do green white checkers, so that's why we're trying to wonder. I'm wondering if the race is going to end here or we're going to have one more run.
Pace car lights would have to go off this time by, and given the fact that they're not doubling up, I'm going to say that's probably not going to happen here. But we'll see. Hopefully the lights go off.
As the pace car goes across the start-finish line, the pace car lights are on, so I believe this is the race, Sam.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they uphold that no one-lap shootouts rule. You would expect them to, but if not, that means Jordan Ericsson will go back-to-back in his victories.
Yeah, definitely. He had a great run at Auto Club last week at Jordan Ericsson. I was really impressed. He made it on fuel. And I love fuel mileage races, but here at Martinsville, I love Martinsville short track racing. It's classic, but you don't really see any fuel mileage races here, so he definitely won one here.
Yeah, looks like back-to-back Truck Series victories. The pace car lights do go off, though.
Okay.
Let them have a one-lap shootout.
I'm not. They're not doubling up though here, Sam. So I believe this is the race. As they're getting Bryce Whitson just got on the radio and said stay single file. So I believe we're not going green.
Perhaps the pace cars and the caution flag is flying back out.
Yep, that's the race right here. Jordan Ericsson, Gary Whitson, Brian Yazik, Sam Maxwell, and Robert Barney, finishing in the top 5 today.
Provided they make it around the next 2 laps, Alan Young, Travis McQuiston, Jeffrey Belt, Jonathan Holstein in 9th place. Didn't mention him at all. And Milt Matisse rounding out the top 10.
I have seen some weird things going on iRacing before. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, they're on the final lap now. They only got a quarter mile left to go. There's some drag cars out there that could do it in 3 seconds. It's going to take a little bit longer for Jordan Ericsson, but he gets to enjoy the ride a little bit more. As he comes out of turn 4, the checkered flag is waving in the air, and Ericsson is going to take a victory here at Martinsville Speedway. Also, Ericsson's going to come around and do a few donuts for us now. The tyre smoke shows on iRacing on this replay, on this video feature, so we'll get to watch Ericsson's celebration here in the number 88 machine, and you got to say he deserved it here, Tanner. I know it's Nick Cohan's incident was not his fault whatsoever, but Ericsson was there to capitalise when it counted.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not to take away anything from Jordan Erickson. I mean, he did earn that win out at Auto Club last week on fuel mileage. That was a great win right there. And tonight, another great win. I mean, he was in the top 3 all night long, and he gets the victory here at Martinsville.
And he just got a congratulatory bump from the pace car as well. Well, we will be back to talk to Jordan Erickson in just a moment here on the GSRC. Hello and welcome back to Martinsville Speedway, where the race is over. You're watching some previous race footage going on right now. We just had 125 laps here, and it was Jordan Erickson who came home with the win. Now, these are not the correct results, because what happened at the end of the race was a lot of the field passed the pace car when the race finished, or when the pace car was coming down pit road with the one to go. And so a lot of black flags were thrown. So this is what iRacing is telling us the results are. However, we don't think this is what the series is going to go off. They're going to go back to one lap before the finish line, and that they'll basically base it off of when the cars cross the finish line in the sim. So we'll give you the top 3 here. Is Jordan Eriksson, Gary Whitson and Brian Jarzik, and we're going to speak to them. Now, the drivers you see here who were multiple laps down, those are correct because they were not around by the time the race finished, unfortunately. But these drivers that we're about to speak to were, and we're going to begin with our 3rd place finisher, Brian Jarzik. Brian, congratulations on your 3rd place finish. Once iRacing's time in the scoring is sorted out here. Now I've got to ask, you were involved in a few incidents out there tonight. How were you able to walk away with the 3rd?
You know, Sammy, I'm not 100% sure. First of all, I just want to apologize to Aaron and Dan. I don't. Maybe it was just the fog of Martinsville or something. I don't know. I don't try to race like a clown, and I'm not going to intentionally run into people or anything like that. That's not how I roll, and I hope that those guys know that. Again, I mean, I don't mean to ruin their guys' day, but all in all, in this HPP simulation, Chevy Silverado, it was an interesting race. I got together with Matzel there, and that kind of sent me up to the fence, and I had to restart back in 28th, 29th, or something like that. And I thought, well, this is not where I needed to be. And then, just kind of as the race worked on, I got lucky and dodged a couple wrecks, and kind of just went from there. And it kind of just worked out. And then that last, about 50 or so to go, when everybody dove off into pit road, Gary and I both thought that a lot more were going to stay out behind us, and that didn't. And I was just kind of trying to hang on there with tires, and Sam was racing me pretty good. So it was an interesting day.
Now, you were the top finisher across the line that doesn't already have a win this season. In the truck division, a win locks you into the pursuit of the championship at the end of the year. Was that on your mind, that you were racing drivers who were going to do anything for the victory because they've already locked themselves in?
It helped a little bit. I knew that those guys, I really secretly I was hoping that maybe, they were going to get a little greedy and, maybe race each other a little hard and, maybe hurt each other and let me sneak up there and get one. But, that didn't quite work. But, I knew that they were going to drive smart and they weren't going to drive over their heads. And, Jordan, he's a great guy, and Gary's a great racer. And I was just kind of sitting there in 3rd, and really, once Jordan got around me and all that, I kind of knew, okay, just kind of settle in and hope for the best. And that's kind of how we ended that one.
Yeah, and actually I think our director picked up where you were involved in an early incident early on in the race there. There were a lot of incidents out there, Brian, that I think there's going to be some talking about between now and next week. What were you hearing over the driver chat?
Well, a lot of guys were getting their microphones muted. Even I did. I mouthed off a little bit at the beginning. To me, it's just a fog of Martinsville. You get a whole bunch of guys in a real tight area and throw them together like that and cut them loose. And, these things are going to happen. And, I don't think it was anybody, in particular one way or the other that was over driving or anything like that. I mean, I think a lot of guys were just trying to defend and drive, and Martinsville being such a short track just kind of brings everybody right back together. And more importantly, when something happens, you have no reaction time. So that's what I was seeing a lot out there, is just, when things happen, you run up on it so fast. And luckily we brought our car, we brought our HPP simulation Silverado in, and not too many scraps. We should be able to clean it up and bring it back to the track later this year.
All right, well, congratulations on your 3rd place finish, Brian, and we look forward to seeing you back again on the track shortly.
Absolutely, I'll be here next week, and we'll go from there.
And that will be in the Grand National Series. They will be racing next week at Texas Motor Speedway. Meanwhile, Tanner has caught up with race winner Jordan Erickson in victory lane.
Here in victory lane with all the champagne going, and it's all wet down here as Jordan Erickson, tonight you win the race here at Martinsville in a stellar performance. I mean, you were in the top 3 all night. I mean, was it a difficulty to hang up front all night, or did you have to stay aggressive, or were you more patient in that top 3?
I was just trying to manage track position the entire race. I was okay running second behind Nick Bohan there, and if when I pitted and those guys didn't pit, I knew that I figured if the lap times equaled out and they were still faster than me for whatever reason, I was okay. Like I said, I was just trying to be patient. That's really the name of the game at Martinsville, is just being patient and biding your time and not trying to get over aggressive. And if you start up front, be patient. Most times you can finish up front. No mistakes on pit road. That was good. And sucks for Nick, because I think Nick definitely had me beat on the long run there. I was still struggling a little bit in the middle of the run, because I was shifting at the start for maybe about the first 10 laps or so, and then I transitioned into not shifting because the tires would burn off a little bit, and then I started not shifting, and I just couldn't really figure out how to run the whole track consistently all the way around and without shifting, and that took about until halfway through the race for me to figure that out. But up until that point, I'm pretty sure Nick had me covered at least. Sucks that he got caught up in that wreck like that.
Yeah, definitely, and I hope you two are on the same page now. I know Martinsville is a lot of beating and banging, trading paint, and then the fingers start pointing. So hopefully you guys can get on the same page and all that. Just a racing incident, of course. But yeah, definitely. Towards the end of the race, it looked like you took tires and the front runners didn't. That was certainly an advantage. I was surprised nobody pitted behind you to try to gain an advantage on you. But yeah, it was definitely a great race to see you running up front. The next racetrack we're going to is Texas Motor Speedway, I believe, in the Grand National Division, I believe it's called. Is that Texas? Do you like Texas?
I actually don't run in the Grand National Division.
Oh.
So I think my next race is Richmond's next in the trucks, I think.
Oh.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Richmond, that's one of my favorite places. I've won a lot of times there too myself. But before we let you go, Jordan, for the night, is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Kevin Berry. I had him helping me out with the race tonight. Josh was doing some other stuff, so I had his old man on top of the box for me. And just like to say thanks to Mark at HPP for sponsoring the series.
All right, well, thank you, Jordan, for coming to talk with us, and go celebrate with your crew. That was Jordan Erickson, who wins tonight at Martinsville and gets a grandfather clock.
Yeah, so now let's catch up with our final interview of the evening, and that is with Mr. Alan Young. Now, Alan, you crossed the line in 6th position at the end of the race, but iRacing is crediting you with 2nd right now, after a lot of drivers were black flagged. What's been for passing the pace car? What's been the talk in the post-race chat there?
I think there's just a lot of confusion. I mean, I'm just as confused as everyone else is. It's kind of something I haven't seen in a while.
Well, considering that you were involved in an incident not too far away from the end of the race, surely you'd be satisfied with a 6th place finish.
Yeah.
So just how aggressive was the racing out there? Because you were running around 6th to 10th place, it seemed, most of a race where a lot of the action was going on.
It was really, it was just beating and banging. I mean, you had to really get up on the wheel at times just to make a run. It was tough racing, but it was fun. I mean, I had a blast. I felt like I had a truck that maybe could get up there and challenge, but towards the end, it just didn't seem like it would go, so.
Well, it looks like you may have gotten lucky, because we're hearing talk that they might be going with the results that iRacing said, in which case you walked away with a 2nd place finish. Do you think you could do one better when the series reconvenes in a few weeks' time in Richmond?
I'm hoping. Me and my LA Sim Sport teammates, John, Edward, and Lee, we've been challenging for top 5s and stuff, and I believe we can make the next step and get a couple wins.
Well, we hope to see you in Victory Lane if that is the case. It looks like this is going to be the debate that's going on for a while about whether the iRacing official results will stand or not. But hey, the worst you got here is 6th place, so congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks' time in Richmond.
Thanks, I can't wait for it.
Alright, so that was Mr. Alan Young, and Tanner, I believe we were talking to Brian Jarzik as if he finished in 3rd place. If they keep these results, he's going to actually be credited with 20th.
Yeah, if that's the case, I mean, Brian Jarzik, he's gonna, but he can run up front every week, and I know he can win races, so I'm not too quite concerned, and hopefully he isn't quite concerned either with that 20th place finish. I mean, yeah, it's a bad deal, but I mean, although you can just move on to the next race and do your best, and you know you can be competitive, so just try to run up front.
Yeah, so a bit of confusion here at the end of the race. As a matter of fact, you're watching replayed action here, but even right now, the pace car is actually still logging laps around Martinsville Speedway. About half an hour after the race has actually came to a conclusion. Another bit of a... Go ahead, Tanner.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that pace car is searching for debris or something, or any water bottles that may have been thrown on the racetrack, but...
Yeah, but another piece of confusion, we've been talking about the Grand National and the Truck Series. For you viewers at home, it doesn't matter a whole lot. Each series, the iROC HPP series, races 9 PM Eastern Time on Wednesday nights every single week. It's the HPP, it's the iROC HPP Grand National Series for the next 2 weeks that will be running. And then these truck drivers will be back in action in 3 weeks' time from Richmond International Raceway. So just make sure that you're here next week at 9 PM Eastern Time Wednesday night, and you will get to see all these drivers race again. And we would like to thank all of them for coming out tonight, all the organisers and the competitors of the iROC HPP Simulation Truck Series for coming here tonight and putting on a great show. We would also like to thank the makers of the various software and hardware that you can see listed on your screen right there. Thanks to the team today, Tanner Sharp, Joe Peak, Steve Brown, and our camera guru, Dougie Beard. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find it at www.globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel. We would like to send out a special thank you to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, who provide us with our music. You can buy Eric's on iTunes and Spotify, and Casey's at caseylalonde.bandcamp.com. We have all of our upcoming races from our other series on screen, so be sure to check those out. Mark them down on your calendar and don't miss another second of exciting racing action. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.